Good evening. Today, me and my classmates are talking about the different levels of biological organization. Here is shown a molecule built up of two atoms. After an atom, on the biological organization levels, it is an organelle. My classmate here is in that example. Then there are cells. The cell is life's fundamental unit of structure and function. Some organisms consist of a single cell which performs all of the functions of life. When cells come together, they help form tissue. Each tissue is a group of individual cells that work together, performing a specialized function. In the video shown, my classmates are demonstrating a group of cells working together. These tissues help build up what we call an organ. An organ is a body part that is made up of multiple tissues and has a specific function in the body. In the video shown here, my classmates' arms, legs, fingers, and feet are all examples of an organ. A group of these organs help what we call organisms. Individual living things are all called organisms. Every organism is different, and every organism functions in a different way. When a group of organisms comes together, it is what we call a population. A population consists of all individuals of a species living within the bounds of a specified area. For example, that would be me, my classmates, other students, all here at Olive Harvey College inside of Chicago. This population all works together and we are all with the same species. And inside of that is what we call a community. Next, I will talk about the transmission of genetic information. Here you can see a sperm cell. A sperm cell is vital to help fertilize the egg. Once the sperm meets the egg, it starts the process to fertilize the egg. As you can see here, the sperm cell is entering the egg containing both DNA all together. Next is the embryo stage. The embryo cells with copies of inherited DNA from both parents are present here. With time, this further develops into the offspring. This offspring has traits inherited from both parents. Those traits are in the form of what we would like to call DNA. To help represent DNA, my classmates will demonstrate. Here, as you can see, is a DNA double helix. This model shows the atoms of a segment of DNA. A DNA molecule takes the three-dimensional form of a double helix. Since it is a double helix, it is basically two separate strands of DNA, or what we call a single strand of DNA. This single strand contains geometric shapes and letters that are symbols for the nucleotides in a small section of strand of a DNA molecule. Genetic information is encoded in specific sequences of the 4 types of nucleotides. Their names are abbreviated A, T, C, and G. And now we will go on to talk about more chemical factors. Now we will talk about the chemical context of life, starting with matter. Matter is anything that takes up space and has mass, and all organisms are composed of matter. Matter is made up of elements. An element is a substance that cannot be broken down into other substances by chemical reactions. As seen here, my classmates are showing protons, neutrons, and electrons, which all play an important part when talking about elements and compounds. An element is represented by a mass number and an atomic number, as well as a number of protons, neutrons, and electrons. The mass number is the number of protons and neutrons together. The atomic number is the number of protons, as well as the number of electrons in the neutral atom, which will lead me to talk about electrons in valence shells. Valence shells is where the electrons sit around an atom, to determine its charge and its number of electrons. Many atoms and other molecules share electrons to be able to create some chemical reactions. An example of this would be a single bond. My classmates are demonstrating a single bond between two hydrogen atoms. The two hydrogen atoms share one pair of electrons, forming a single bond. Here is a double bond between two oxygens. They both share these so they can help create the specific types of reactions. Thank you for this presentation. We hope you enjoy.